Hello.
Hello.
Great to be here.
Great to be here. All right, we're going to start out. This is our In the Closet podcast where we.
Or Closet Theory. It's a.
We'll see what the title's going to be or what we're going to call it. Is it a title or is it the name of the show?
Oh, the name of the show. Today we're going to be We're going to give our theories from this closet about just everything in life in general.
We're going to push those theories right outside the fucking the closet.
We can push them right up your butt.
So we're going to talk about real topics that are going on in the world today, and maybe have a little debate. Maybe we'll just totally agree on things. But a big topic right now is mask wearing. Should we or should we not be wearing a mask during the COVID-19 pandemic, and maybe just all the time?
We definitely should not be, and there's multiple reasons why this is a controversial topic in America.
Okay, I understand you feel that way. Now there's lots of societies who already wear masks, even when there is no COVID-19 pandemic.
Lots of unfree societies.
Yeah, but there's lots of people who are culturally from those societies who also choose to wear masks much of the time here. And I guess we can just start right there. Asians wear masks more often than not, it seems like. And Asians are...
That's more of a fashion statement, I would say.
Well, whether it's a fashion statement or not, first of all, I don't know that Asians are considered that fashionable. And also, they are definitely one of the smarter cultures, intelligence-wise. Harvard won't let them in because there's too many of them there.
And because they're stealing all of our secrets and selling them back over there.
Okay. Well, that's a point I hadn't thought of.
Your point is that we should wear masks as Asians do?
Well, I think if, you're going to model yourself... There's worse cultures you could model yourself after, for sure. Asians, they're really good at math, evidently.
Do you think that has anything to do with the mask?
Maybe they have some calculation behind the mask wearing that we don't know about. And they may not tell us. They're a secretive people. Yeah.
All right, I'd say that'd be a stretch as far as a reason to cover your face up just because Asian people do it.
Okay. I mean, it may be a stretch. I'm just trying to give some anecdotal evidence that there might be some good
Middle Eastern women love wearing masks. Would that be another one of your checkpoints for the mask?
Well, I would say yes. I would say that it does make everyone better looking when they're wearing a mask. So I would say that's a net benefit. As far as walking around town, you don't see as many ugly people. You see their eyes, you see their eyebrows, as long as they take care of themselves. It's less of the ugly people that you have to see, I would say.
But for the good-looking people like myself who've spent a lot of time to get this face, including Invisalign, I think it downplays us where it just equalizes the good-looking people with ugly people. And so I can see if I was an ugly person that wearing a mask could be beneficial. But as a good-looking person, that'd be another strike for me against wearing masks.
I would say as a good-looking person, it gives you the opportunity when you do take your mask off for someone.
Don't pretend like you can relate to a good-looking person. I'm speaking from my perspective.
I'm talking hypothetically.
You don't know what I've been through.
I'm talking hypothetically. As a good-looking person, I would imagine if I were a good-looking person that when I took my mask off, it would be even a better effect on the person that I wanted to see my Invisalign that I had invested so much in. So, I would say it's kind of a benefit for both sides.
Wearing mask partially, because you're allowing us to take the mask off, so...
Well, at some point you have to take it off when you eat. Yeah, when you eat.
Go into a swimming pool, evidently.
Yeah, possibly.
When you sit down at a restaurant.
Yeah. Well, yeah, when you sit down at a restaurant, for sure. But, I would just say when when you do get to take it off, it's like, it's like a strip show.
It might be more beneficial. Hopefully the person's better looking when they take the mask off. But what if you fall in love with somebody and they're wearing a mask, then they take the mask off and they don't have any teeth and they're missing their lower jaw, or they don't have a super strong jaw like I do. Then you've just sabotaged yourself and could have
That's-
fallen in love with a lie. Because a lot of people have beautiful eyes, but jacked up toofs.
That's something I did not take into account. And if you end up with someone who doesn't have a jaw, I would have a lot of questions.
What
about
if they
that.
have like a big overbite, and or they could have all kinds of stuff. What if you fall in love with a girl with beautiful eyes, and then she takes her mask off and she has a full mustache that's better than yours?
Well, I think that's a good point. I would say it could be another benefit, though, that people have to communicate verbally with each other to find those things out without just looking at someone and being like, I don't like them.
It's gonna allow for ugly people to trick people into falling in love with them. And so, like, if you had a hairy upper lip, would you be on your first date and you're a woman, or you had 0 teeth, would you be like, right out the bat, I'm not going to tell this guy I don't have any teeth. I'm going to see what goes, and then I'll let him know later after he falls in love with my eyes.
If you were in that position, you would let the other person think you were good looking and hope that when he
I wouldn't
finds out,
lie about it,
got
but I'm
him
not
locked
going
in.
to address it right off the bat. It's not like if you date somebody and you tell them right up front, like, by the way, I have children.
You wouldn't lead with that.
I wouldn't lead off with that. I'd see if there was something there first, and then you bring in like, oh, and by the way, I've got 12 kids, or just so you know, this is going really well. I do have a very, very hairy upper lip, or I have 0 teeth.
Well, I mean, I see the point you're making. I think I have more trust in humanity that they would be more honest about it before you got to the point where you were taking the mask off. And if you ask the right questions, I mean, you can still see their eyes. You can still see if they're lying to you or not. Watch their body language.
I don't know.
Are we still on?
Oh, yeah, we are still on.
Oh, okay, good.
Oh, it projected it to the TV because it's connected to the TV.
So we were on TV for a minute.
Nice. Okay, well, I'll go ahead and just chalk that up as a terrible point that you've made.
Okay, well, next one I have is a lot of people have bad breath and they don't know it. But when you wear the mask, you're fully aware of what your breath smells like. So good news is people might brush your teeth more. It doesn't allow them to breathe right in your face. By the way, we are 6 feet apart during COVID. I know the camera makes it look like we're a lot closer than that, but this is actually a really big closet that we're in.
My arms
Jacob has
are
extremely
exactly
long arms.
6 feet long.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, what about the point that people with bad breath would know they have bad breath and possibly cause less people to have bad breath because they would chew?
Well, as much as I'd like to argue with that, that's a pretty solid point, because that was one thing I noticed immediately when I had to wear the mask.
How terrible your breath was.
Yeah, it was rough.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, how come nobody told me?
Yeah.
I didn't realize it, so...
But what about the people who can't make their breath better? They're just forced to smell their bad breath all the time.
Well,
Which I guess they should, because other people have to smell it. They should know.
I think, I'm sure there's a way to fix bad breath. Like, you can...
I don't know. I mean, it's a medical condition for some people.
Tic Tacs in there. Yeah. Well, if they're stuck with it, then that could be better for them because it built character.
Okay. Well, good. We agree on that one. So I think we're moving right along, and I think I'm winning right now if I tally these up. Let's go to, when people wear a mask, they're using less oxygen for the rest of us. I'm not a scientist, but if you're wearing a mask, you can't be breathing in as much oxygen as you normally would.
I mean, I think the downside with that would be people that are going to have heart attacks and things because they have trouble breathing because it's affecting their breaths.
I'm going to be honest, and I don't know the stats on heart attacks caused by... I'm going to write this down so I can look it up later.
It's probably very
Heart attacks caused by wearing a mask. Does
lack of breathing cause heart attacks?
A severe lack of breathing, as far as I understand it, can cause your heart to fail.
Nice.
Like a very severe, yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm glad we covered that then.
Let's see. Ugly people are better looking. I already covered that one.
Which would be a point for me because it has negative effects because ugly people can trick people and then they have no reason to take care of themselves if Women just start wearing makeup around their eyes. Not that they have to wear makeup, because people are beautiful naturally.
Just as they are.
But
for sure.
I think the beauty curve is going to just trend way down, and it equalizes everybody. You're for equality is what it sounds like. Everyone should look the same. Everyone should drive the same cars. We should all work.
I mean, that's kind of where society's moving.
Free health care for everybody.
Yeah.
All the same. We should all work in the same field. Let the government control everything. Okay.
Well, it sounds like you're coming from a position where you assume everyone's a liar and they won't tell you if they have a mustache.
I'm assuming that most people are liars.
I actually agree with you on that. So we'll give I'll give you a half a point on that one.
Nice.
Score right now is 15 to 0.5. I'm ahead.
Is that Asian math that you're using, or?
I don't say Asian math. That sounds, I don't know. I don't know if I like the sound of that. Chinese math.
Chinese math. Good at math and good at viruses.
That's right. Bad at driving. Okay. Let's see. I've got a couple more. For one, there's a special group of people who definitely are for mask wearing. They wear masks pretty much whether there's a pandemic or not. This guy right here.
You're saying just superheroes? Wow, you actually just proved your other point. You look way better with that.
Do I?
Yeah.
I should do it all the time, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm going to consider it.
How's your breathing happening in that latex mask?
My breath smells fantastic, and I feel like I'm about to have a heart attack, so you might be right on that theory. Superheroes wear masks, and not just superheroes, heroes in general. You've got the...
Police officers?
Do they wear masks?
No, they don't.
Well, they're not heroes, right?
What about Superman?
Well, he's not a real superhero. He's like a god.
Well, define us? Who's a super? What makes you a superhero? Deadpool's like a god. He can't be killed.
Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe not all superheroes. There's a large group of superheroes who are for wearing masks for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, you got Spider-Man, you got Batman, you got what's the guy who puts the Z with the sword? He's not a superhero.
Zorro.
Yes.
I would define
Zorro?
him as a superhero.
Okay.
Like if Batman's a superhero, then
Yeah.
Zorro's also a superhero.
Also wore a mask. Now, he did the opposite of the type of mask we're talking about because he just wore it over his eyes and not his mouth. So
did Batman.
I thought he wore a whole... Did he not wear a whole mask?
No, it just comes down from his nose and up, and his mouth's hanging out.
Okay. Well, maybe
So we're down to Spider-Man and Deadpool that wear a mask. And Deadpool wears it because he's super ugly. His face is all burned up when he takes his mask off. He's ugly.
Okay.
So...
maybe that was a bad idea.
I mean, not to mention the other people that wear masks are the people that superheroes try and stop. They're called criminals. And they
Criminals do
are
wear
loving
masks.
the mask mandate because instead of having to buy a new ski mask every week, they can just put on their little mask covering thing.
Are bank robberies up right now?
I know violence is up,
Okay.
and I would just attribute that to people wearing masks so you can shoot people or rob a bank if banks are even open.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, I would say there's more criminals wearing masks than there are superheroes.
Yeah, I'd have to look at the data on that. I actually didn't do any preparation for that argument other than bring my Spider-Man mask. So
That's a Deadpool mask.
we'll agree to disagree on that. Oh, this is Deadpool?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how little research I did. I just grabbed the first mask I saw.
Typical millennial. You probably read an article and then just went with it.
I did see an article in Newsweek the other day just talking about how Mask and Superheroes was the title of the article. So I didn't actually read the article. I just read the headline.
The headlines always tell the whole story.
Well, I think so, which is why read the whole thing when you can just read half a sentence at the top of the page. Okay. I'm trying to think if I have any other great reasons to wear masks. I feel like I've pretty much made my point. I may have missed.
I guess a popular one would be that medical, from a medical standpoint, doctors.
Well, I mean, doctors and nurses wear masks, which is kind of a sign that as far as the spreading of the disease, it may be a good thing to wear one if they're choosing to wear one.
They also throw them away every time they use one and put another one on. I've been using the
that's
same
true.
mask just breathing in it, spitting in it for a month now. So
Yeah, you're probably going to give yourself COVID.
I think if you from a doctor, if your doctor's wearing it, if you wore it like a doctor did and put on one, you wore 100 masks a day that you threw away every time they were contaminated, that would make sense.
Yeah, masks are bad for the environment in that situation.
Are they? I think they're made out of paper.
Yeah, but what happens to that paper?
It gets recycled, from what I know.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
Okay. Bad point by me.
Yeah, you got to believe in humanity that they're going to do the right thing and
So
recycle
you believe
their
in
mask.
humanity when it comes to recycling, but
No,
they're going to lie to you.
No, I was being satirical and facetious because humanity is going to lie and they're going to throw their mask on the ground.
Well, neither of us recycle, so of course,
Right. That was a point I was hoping you'd catch on to.
I got you.
We represent humanity. There's
We're all
gonna
in
be
trouble. That's
Tons
what we're
of
saying.
lies happening and tons of littered masks on the ground.
Okay, so I think I won the argument with my Asian argument, and that people will be breathing in less oxygen. And then, of course, I'll call it a tie on the ugly people with bad teeth because we both made great points on that.
We did.
I think that's all we have on masks today.
All right. Join us next week where we'll go over the pros and cons of live birth abortions. Thanks for joining us.
Can't wait.